Hey guys, again, if you like learning about cars, modifying cars, seeing cars, subscribe, like, and share to receive more content. Hey, so here we are, stage one. We got the supercharger out. Here's some of the components here. And we're starting to tear the car down. Stage one, basically getting the front bumper off. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you know, I think we've all done this before. If not, I didn't do a video on it, but there's videos out there on how to do it. It's a little bit of a pain, but we got that off. Just got my catch can pulled out. Crossbars just starting to pop it apart. That's the main thing. I wanted to get the clip off last night, and after that, a lot of this little stuff goes pretty fast. I think this is a 7 or 8 hour job, but I think if you've done this before, these superchargers, I'm sure you can get these out in a few hours. It's really replacing the intake. Pull everything out, replace the intake, put it back together. I'm going to be taking my time. It's just stuff I want to do. When you have a real street car, they get dirty. This is all got to get cleaned up. We're in Wisconsin, so it's grimy, it rains, it's dirty. The spring is really dirty with all the gravel on the roads and stuff. So I want to try to get this all cleaned up. Figure out how I'm going to route the air, because it uses the stock intake location. So I have to figure out how I'm going to route that with the supercharger. Naturally aspirated. I went old school, which worked really good, but I'm not going to be able to do that anymore because there's going to be a radiator there. There's not going to leave me enough space, so I have to block that back off, figure something else out. But that's it. Stage one completed, just roughly getting that front bumper off and starting to lay out the parts so we can get her installed. Hey guys, another supercharger update. Subscribe, like, and share if you like this stuff and want to receive more content. So here we are. We got ripped apart. It comes apart fast. It really only takes a couple hours to get it apart. It takes longer to get the bumper off than I think to get the about the same time to get the bumper off and the intake, but it doesn't take that long. Honestly, if I just wanted to rock this out as fast as possible, this is probably a 5-hour job. Probably a 5-hour job. But I'm taking my time doing a couple other little things as I go along. But yeah. Got it all torn down, the intake, injectors, all that stuff's off. I took off my alternator. You don't have to, but I did. Like, I might as well just get it out of the way, make things easier when I'm putting a supercharger on. I also have the air conditioner loosened up. I think that you pull aside anyways, but yeah, just to make things easier. So I'm doing a couple little extra things. I'm going to route my PVC a little different because I'm going to have a catch can in that, so I have to figure out how I'm going to route that. I was thinking of replacing my sensors, but I think they're fine. My knock sensors or something while I have it torn apart. I was going to mess with my direct injectors, but again, they were fine, so why even mess with it? Probably just going to leave it. May or may not regret that. But yeah, coming apart pretty easy. Got it torn apart. I've already did a couple little things. Got my little relay already in there. So I'm already starting the assembly process. But again, I'm going to take my time. A couple of these idler pulleys, that's a little loose. That one's not as bad. This one's definitely loose. I don't like that. I might just replace those. Maybe I'll get an idler pulley kit. I gotta see what's available. Just get that done with. So I got the grill. I probably won't put the bumper back on till spring. I might be doing things. I'm not sure how I'm going to route the air to the supercharger. It's got a big intake that comes out here. We'll show you that video when I do it. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that yet. But that'll go on last because I may or may not be repainting my bumper. It's got a lot of stone chips on it. But the money I got to spend here, I might just say, forget it. Or I might wrap the vehicle. Who knows? Yeah, getting the supercharger on there. Got it torn apart. It's not really that hard. Getting the intake off was a little bit of a pain in the butt. This back harness covers this last bolt. Okay, people don't show you that stuff. There's a bolt under here, and so you have an ear for that intake, and it hooks under here. That is probably the hardest part of taking it off, because the rest of it just lifts off. Everything else is pretty clear and will just set right on there. That's probably the biggest pain, is hooking it on there. But I think I've got everything cleared away now, where it'll pretty much just set right on there. And should go pretty fast. Alright, another update on installing a supercharger. Thanks, bye. Part 3 of installation. Here we go. Supercharger's not in quite yet. Now I'm to the installation stage of the supercharger. Basically, really, I think all I really have left is to put the supercharger on. A couple little things. I'm going to kind of run you through what it takes to install one of these. First, you have to take it apart. You take your front bumper off, okay? You have to remove your intake. Okay, so that basically, yeah, remove your air box, intake, injectors, all that stuff. Okay, so this isn't really how to do it all together, but I'm gonna kind of go over the things you do to install it, kind of like a brief summary. I may hit everything, I may not. I'm gonna try to remember here real quick. It actually goes pretty quick. The only reason I'm not together yet is because now I have to figure out how I'm going to do certain things. The PVC valve, I am not hooking up to the intake. On the supercharger, you have these are your vacuum lines right here. You have one for evap, one for PVC, and one for your brake booster. I have an automatic. I don't use this one, but I'm not going to use these two either. Okay, I know I'm not using PVC here, and now I think I'm not going to do the evap either. I think I might just eliminate that system to make it easier and find a different way to vent the fumes. Okay, that I'm working on right now. Because these are sources of vacuum, and you don't want things getting sucked into your intake that you don't want. The evap probably isn't that bad because it's just gas fumes, so that's probably not terrible, but you don't want oil going into your engine. You cannot connect your breather tube into your intake. You are going to suck oil. I just pulled my engine apart. I should have did a video on that, but I didn't. Now, I disconnected this a little while ago, or I reroute it, is what I do. I reroute it so oil can't get into the engine. Okay, I'm going to show you briefly how I do that. Because it sucks oil, even with a canister, oil still gets past that. Moisture still gets past a canister, so you're going to suck oil into your intake. That's how things carbon up. You're going to ruin the supercharger, your intake valves, your intake ports, your pistons, everything are going to have a coating of oil, which gets burned into carbon, and you don't want that. So you have to, if you're going to vent your PVC to the engine, you have to take care to find a way to do that so you don't get any oil into the engine and still create vacuum in the crankcase, which is good. You want vacuum in the crankcase, that produces power. You don't want oil in your engine, that ruins your engine. Okay, two different things. I think I found a way how I like to do it, and so far it's been working pretty good. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I've got basically everything laid out, ready to go.